Today I'm here with an Indian named Johnny Gill, who whose parents emigrated from India to over here. So, Johnny Gill, what do you think of the Indo-Pak relations at these times?
At this time, I really believe, because my family, we are really not stressing. We don't stress over that kind of stuff, and we have closed the gap when there was a gap. My dad's actually best friend is Pakistani, Muslim, and it's a quite nice relationship. My best friend is a man named Faiz Ashraf, and he's a good guy. He's Pakistani also, Muslim as you would say. We've known each other since grade one, and it's been a heck of a ride.
Do you think religion plays an important factor in the division between Indians and Pakistanis?
Yes, actually, I do believe that plays a big factor because that was one of the main reasons why they were separated back in Independence Day for Pakistan. Well, I believe this is true because Pakistan's religion, the Muslim religion, Islamic religion, is different than Punjabi and Indian religion. And basically, all the Muslims wanted to do was become an independent and own nation, so they could run their government and run their citizens how they wanted to. These religions differ, but if you look closely, they have some similarities, and I believe this is actually probably the biggest reason why there was a separation and there was a gap for so long.
So how do you think your parents view the Indo-Pak relations, seeing as how they are obviously of an older generation and they lived in those places where the borders were connected? So how do you think your parents feel about the relationship between both countries?
Well, interestingly enough, my mom, her dad was born in Pakistan. So it's actually my mom's side. We embrace Pakistani culture, Muslim culture. We don't mind it at all. Actually, we love it, and we have a lot of family and friends that are a lot of friends that are Pakistani Muslim. And my dad, as I said before, he has a best friend who's Muslim. So in terms of us, we embrace everyone. We don't think about the past. It is no longer anything for us. We think about the future and we think about the present. However, I have met a few families who have had dislikes to Muslims, and this is because of their religious beliefs and how they are separated from one another. And also, my dad has known a few Pakistani families who have also not really believed or really liked the way Indians and specifically Punjabi people run their society. So, in terms of my family, we're great with Pakistani and Muslims and the Muslim religion. But in terms of some others, it is not as clean. However, overall, it is now calmed down much more than a few hundred years ago.
Do you think this is because your family immigrated to Canada now that like Canada is such a diverse country, multiculturalism? It's often known as a mosaic, embracing all other cultures. Do you think that this is one of the reasons why your family has become more accepting of Muslims, or is your family just they're just accepting in general?
Well, actually, I have my cousin's family who they're a great example of this. They came into Canada not really hating Muslim people, but disliking. And my dad's friends, Muslim friends, and my dad and our family have helped my cousin's family to kind of embrace and become more loving with one another, with Muslim and Islamic culture. And Canada played a big part in this because the more you see them, more times you see a Muslim, more times you see anyone you don't like, the better you get to know them. Like, we got to know that not all people are bad. Not all Indians are bad. Not all Muslims are bad. Not all Canadians are bad. And there's a certain stereotype that's put along with, let's just say, robberies and African American people, or even terrorists, like brown people, like all of us. But I have to say that Canada really helped, and it made it better for us as a whole.
Do you remember the 26/11 Mumbai attacks a couple years ago?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that could have had a great effect on the Indian population as to how they view Muslims? Because the attack was conducted by Muslims and Muslim extremists. So how do you think that? Do you think that pushed back the relationship between both countries?
Well, I can't say it furthered it, but the thing is that what I believe and what my family believes is that all terrorists, doesn't matter if they're Pakistani, doesn't matter if they're Indian, doesn't matter if they're Punjabi, they can't control who a terrorist is. There could be black terrorists, there can be African American terrorists, there could be Afghani terrorists. Terrorists are all over the world. You cannot just put a point on them. And if there are terrorists in Pakistan, that doesn't mean the other Muslims feel that way. Maybe a few percent do. But that is same with Punjabi and Indian people and Hindi people. They also, a few of them you could say are extremists, maybe a few percent in that population, and who do not feel a certain way with Pakistani people. So that's just overall and around the world. So we can't really help that. And in terms of my family, we didn't really see that as a threat to our relationship with Pakistani people. And I have my best friend. He's Muslim, and I've been with him my whole life. And no one's ever said anything because my family and his family are both accept the reason that we are actually alike in so many ways, that there's no reason to fight.
So you may know about the Kargil, the war in LOC Kargil
Yeah.
between the Indians and the Pakistanis for control over the region. Do you think that war will ever come to an end, or will it always be like fighting going on over there to see who can gain the territory?
Well, I always believe, as said before, there are extremists and people who will fight for their land. But this is not a fight for religion. This is not because they don't like each other. This is because they want a piece of land to further their country's name, to expand their country. And this is happening everywhere. You can't just say it's happening here. And another example would be South and North Korea. Same thing. They're having a large battle, and the war has never ended there. And they're not allowed to separate sides of South Koreans are not allowed to North Koreans. North Koreans are not allowed in South Korea. But that actually does not mean that they don't like each other. It's just the government. And the same thing with Pakistan and India. They now have a better relationship with the governments. They dispute on a few things, which makes everyone think that Indians hate Pakistanis, Muslims hate Punjabi people, but that's not true. And I don't think it'll be a big factor in relationship between us.
What do you think about the future of Indo-Pak relations between the governments specifically in the two countries?
Well, I think it'll only get better from here. We've seen the worst, and it's gone by, and people in the newer generations are becoming more accepting. So as generations go on, people will begin accepting more, and let's say the old people who have the old religion will obviously want to pass away, and the new generation will both be very accepting, and we'll see a big boom in relationships between the two. And I feel this way already because in a lot of movies and even in real life, you're seeing more Pakistani people and Indian people loving each other, even getting married, and it's a good thing to see. It's not bad, and hopefully it continues, and I believe it will continue.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You too, sir.
This is Faiz Ashraf reporting from Orchard Park Library. That's it.